You know the question I get asked more than almost any other? Should I start with a free community and then convert people to paid later? Or should I just charge from the beginning? And every single time someone asks me this, I can hear the hope in their voice, the hope that free is the safe choice, the easier choice, the choice that won't scare people away. They're thinking if I start with a free, I can build trust first. I can prove my value. I can get people engaged. And then once they see how great this is, converting them to paid will be easy. But here's what I have to tell them. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. That almost never works. Starting with a free community and trying to convert it to paid later is one of the hardest, most frustrating paths you can take. And it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because the psychology of free versus paid is fundamentally different. And most people don't realize that until they're 6 months in, exhausted with a free community full of people who have no intention of ever paying. So today, we're talking about free versus paid communities. While free feels safe but almost never converts, why paid from the start actually works better for you and your members, and the one trial strategy that actually works without giving your community away for free. Let's dive in.
Hi, friends. I'm Rachel Starr, former wedding planner, recovering people pleaser, and living proof that you don't have to grind yourself into dust to build something real. This episode is brought to you by the Co-Creator Society, the place where creative entrepreneurs stop doing business alone and finally get the support, collaboration, and momentum they've been craving. These days, I help creators, educators, and community leaders build businesses rooted in connection, not burnout. We're talking smart systems, intentional strategy, and communities that actually pour back into the people running them. Welcome to Community at Heart, the podcast where we talk sustainable memberships, offers that feel aligned, and building spaces people genuinely want to show up for. So if you're ready to trade the solo hustle for shared growth, pull up a chair, grab your coffee or sweet tea, and let's build something better together.
All right, let's talk about free versus paid. And I'm just going to say it up front. I don't like free communities as a business model. Not because I don't believe in giving value, not because I don't believe in building trust. I absolutely do. But I don't believe in giving away your core offer for free and hoping people will pay for it later. Because here's what actually happens. You launch a free community, people join. Some of them are genuinely interested. Some are just curious. Some are tire kickers who just join every free thing they see. At first, maybe there's some activity. A few people post. A few people ask questions. You're showing up, answering everything, providing value, building relationships. But over time, engagement drops. People stop showing up. The same 3 people are active. Everyone else is lurking, or they've forgotten they're even in the community. And you're working harder than ever, posting, promoting, trying to spark conversations, creating free resources, giving more and more value, hoping that if you just prove how valuable this is, people will want to pay for it. And then one day you decide it's time. You announce the free community is becoming paid. You give people notice. You explain the value. You make the offer. And here's what happens. Crickets. Maybe 1 or 2 people sign up. Maybe, but the vast majority, they ghost. They stop showing up entirely. They don't respond to your messages. They just quietly disappear. And you're left feeling confused and frustrated because you gave them so much value. You proved it worked. You built trust. So why didn't they convert? Here's why. When people join something for free, they value it as free. It doesn't matter how much value they're giving. It doesn't matter how great the experience is. In their minds, it's a free thing. And free things don't cost money. So when you ask them to pay, you're asking them to fundamentally shift how they see the community. You're asking them to start valuing something they've been getting for free. And that's really, really hard. It's not that they don't like what you're doing. It's not that they don't see the value. It's that they've already categorized it in their brain as free. And changing that mental category is almost impossible. Think about it this way. You've been going to a park for free for 6 months, and one day the city puts up a gate and says, now it costs money to get in. How would you feel? You'd probably be annoyed. You'd probably think, but it's always been free. Why would I pay for it now? That's what's happening in your free community. People aren't being difficult. They're just responding to the psychology of free. And there's another problem with free communities that nobody talks about. Nobody has any skin in the game. When people don't pay for something, they don't commit to it. They don't show up consistently. They don't engage deeply. They don't prioritize it because there's no cost to ignoring it. There's no cost to lurking. There's no cost to joining and never coming back. And when people don't have skin in the game, they don't get results because results require showing up. They require engagement. They require doing the work. I've watched this happen over and over. Someone launches a free community, gets 100 people to join, and within a month, maybe 10 people are active. The rest, silent, lurking, or completely checked out. And the founder is frustrated because they're putting in all this effort and nobody's engaging. But the members aren't engaging because they don't have a reason to. They didn't invest anything. There's no loss if they don't show up, but paid is completely different. When someone pays for access to your community, everything changes. First, they self-select. They've decided this is worth investing in. They're not just casually curious, they're committed. Second, they have skin in the game. They spend money and now they're motivated to get their money's worth. They show up, they engage, they participate. Third, they value it differently because they paid for it. They see it as valuable. They take it seriously. They respect the space and the other members. And fourth, they get results because they're actually doing the work. They're not just lurking, they're asking questions, they're implementing, they're showing up consistently. Paid communities work better for you and for your members. I've seen the same person join a free community and barely show up, then join a paid community on the same topic and be one of the most active engaged members. Same person, same topic. The only difference, one costs money. That financial commitment, even if it's small, completely changes how people approach the experience. But here's where people get stuck. They say, Rachel, I hear you, but I need to build trust first. People need to see that I know what I'm talking about before they'll pay me. And I completely agree, friend. You do need to build trust. You absolutely should be giving value, improving your expertise before you ask people to pay. But here's what I don't agree with, that the way to build trust is through a free community. There are way better ways to build trust that don't require you to give away your core offer for free. Start a podcast. Start a blog, start a newsletter, start a YouTube channel, create content on social media, guest on other people's podcasts, write guest posts, share your expertise generously and publicly. That's how you build trust. That's how you prove you know what you're talking about. That's your free funnel. And then when people are ready to move, when they want deeper access, when they want community and connection and ongoing support, that's when they pay. Your podcast is free. Your blog is free. Your newsletter is free. Your YouTube videos are free. Your Instagram content is free. But your community, friend, that's paid. Because community takes work. It takes energy. It takes facilitation and leadership and structure and time. And that's worth paying for. Let me give you an example of how this works in practice. Let's say you're a business strategist and you help service providers build sustainable businesses. You start a podcast where you share your best strategies. You're generous with your knowledge. You teach real, actionable stuff. People listen and they start getting results just from your free content. Over time, they start trusting you. They see that you know what you're talking about. They like your approach. They resonate with your values. Some of those listeners think, I love this. I want more. I want access to this person. I want to be in a space where I can ask questions and get support and connect with other people who are building the same thing. So they join your paid community. They're not joining blindly. They trust you. They've been listening to your podcast for months. They know your approach. They know how you deliver value. But they also understand that community is different from a podcast. Community is deeper. It's more personal. It's interactive. It requires more from you. And that's why it costs money. That's the model that works. Free content builds trust. Paid community delivers transformation. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Rachel, what if I don't have an audience yet? What if nobody knows who I am? Won't starting with free help me build that audience? Here's the truth. A free community is not a good audience building strategy because free communities attract people who want free stuff, not people who are ready to invest in transformation. And when you fill your community with people who just want free stuff, you're not building an audience of future paying customers. You're building an audience of people who will never pay. If you don't have an audience yet, build it the right way. Create valuable content, show up consistently, share your expertise, help people for free in public spaces. But when it comes to your community, the place where you're facilitating transformation and providing ongoing support, charge for it from the start. Because the people who are willing to pay, even when you're just starting out, those are your people. Those are the ones who are serious, the ones who are ready, the ones who actually get results. And those are the people you want in your community anyway. Let me tell you what I see happen when people charge from the start. First, the quality of member is higher because people who pay are people who are committed. They're not just browsing, they're not just killing time, they're there to do the work. Second, engagement is better because people who pay, they show up, they participate, they ask questions, they contribute to the community. They don't just lurk. I have members in the Co-Creator Society who show up to almost every single call, who post questions, who help other members, who are actively building their businesses inside the community. And every single one of them paid to be there. That payment was the signal that they were serious. Third, results are better because people who are engaged and committed actually implement what they're learning. And when they get results, they stay and they refer other people. And fourth, the community is sustainable because you're getting paid for the work you're doing. You're not burning yourself out facilitating a free space that's not bringing in revenue. Paid communities are better for everyone. But here's the fear I hear all the time. What if I charge and nobody joins? And look, I get it. That is a valid fear. But here's what I want you to consider. If you charge and nobody joins, that's actually valuable information. It tells you one of a few things. Maybe your offer isn't clear enough. Maybe people don't understand what they're getting or why it's valuable. Maybe your messaging isn't speaking to the right people. Maybe you're attracting an audience that's not ready to invest yet. Or maybe your audience just isn't big enough yet, and that's okay. That means you need to focus on building your audience through free content first. But here's what starting with free doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you if people actually value what you're offering because they'll join for free even if they don't value it. And then you'll spend months building something that nobody is ever going to pay for anyways. And you've wasted all of that time. Starting with paid gives you real feedback fast. Either people see the value and join or they don't. And you know you need to adjust something. And honestly, if you can't get anyone to pay for your community, you probably shouldn't be building a community just yet. You should be building your audience, improving your expertise through free content first. Here's another thing I see people worry about. If I charge, people will expect more. They'll expect me to be available all the time. They'll expect constant new content. They'll expect me to do more than I can actually deliver. And yes, when people pay, they have expectations. But here's the thing, you get to set those expectations. You get to define what's included. You get to set boundaries around your time and availability. You get to structure the community in a way that's sustainable for you. And when you're clear about what people are paying for, they're not expecting more than you're offering. They're expecting exactly what you told them they get. The problem isn't that people who pay expect too much. The problem is when you're not clear about what they should expect. So be clear. Say this community includes 2 live calls a month, access to your resource library, space to ask questions and connect with other members. I'm in the community regularly, but I don't answer DMs outside the community. Here's what you can expect from me. Here's what you can expect from the space. When you set clear expectations, people who pay are actually easier to manage than people who are getting something for free because they know what they're getting and they signed up for that. People in free communities, they don't know what to expect because Typically, you haven't set clear boundaries, and they'll often expect way more than they would in a paid space because they feel entitled to everything. Paid is clear, paid is cleaner. Paid is more sustainable. Now, let me address the trial question because this is where a lot of people get stuck. Some people ask, what about a free trial? What if I let people try the community for free and then charge after that? And I'm going to be really honest, I don't like free trials for communities. Here's what happens. People join for the free trial, they check it out, maybe they engage a little, maybe they don't. And then when the trial ends, you ask them to pay, and a lot of times they'll leave because they were there for the free trial, not for the community. They were sampling, not committing. The people who do convert after a free trial, they probably would have joined and paid from the start if you just asked them to. So you're not gaining anything by offering a free trial. You're just delaying the real commitment. And you're spending a month or 2 weeks managing people who were never going to pay anyways. Plus, here's the thing about free trials that nobody talks about. When you offer a free trial, you usually ask people to put in their credit card information, and then you get pushback. People say, why do I need to give you my credit card if it's free? If it's really free, I shouldn't have to give you payment information. And they're not wrong. It feels sneaky. It feels like a trap, like you're trying to trick them into paying later. So what do? You either make the trial truly free with no credit card required, which means you're giving it away and hoping people come back to pay, or you require a credit card and deal with the objections and the bad feelings it creates. Neither option is great. But here's what I do instead. And this strategy has doubled my community conversions. I offer a $1 trial, not free, $1. And I know what you're thinking, Rachel, what's the difference? It's basically free. But psychologically, it's completely different. First, people have to give you their credit card to pay that $1. And because they're paying for something, even if it's tiny, there's no pushback about the credit card requirement. They're not thinking, why do you need my credit card for a free trial? They're thinking, okay, I'm paying $1, so of course I need to enter my payment details. Second, it's still a financial commitment. Even if it's small, they spent money. They have skin in the game. And that $1, well, it can change everything because now they're not treating it like a free thing that they might check out whenever. They're treating it like something they paid for, even if it was just $1. Third, it weeds out the tire kickers, the people who join every single free thing they see with no intention of ever engaging. They don't pay $1, even $1 is too much for them. So you're left with people who actually are interested, who are actually willing to invest, who are actually going to show up. My $1 trial is for 30 days. You can make yours shorter if you want, but 30 days gives people enough time to really experience the community, see the value, and decide if they want to stay. Because they've already made that initial commitment, the conversion rate at the end of the trial is way higher than it would be if it was free. I'm talking double conversions, friends, because the people who join for $1 are already psychologically committed. They're not sampling, they're testing with the intention of staying if it's good. If you want to see exactly how I set this up, I have a YouTube video on it. It's called the $1 trial strategy that doubled my circle community conversions. I'll link it up in the show notes. But the point is, if you want to offer a trial, don't make it free. Make it $1. That tiny amount of money makes all the difference in the world. Now, here's what I want you to take away from today. Free communities, they feel safe, but they almost never convert to paid. And they attract people who don't have skin in the game, which means low engagement, low results, and burnout for you. Paid communities, well, they work better for you and for your members because when people pay, they commit. They show up, they engage, they get results, and you build something sustainable. You absolutely should build trust before you ask people to pay, but you build that trust through free content, your podcast, your blog, your newsletter, your YouTube channel, your social media, not through giving away your community for free. Your community is your core offer. It's where transformation happens. It's where you facilitate connection and growth and results. That's worth paying for. So charge from the start. Or if you want to offer a trial, make it $1, not free. Set clear expectations, attract the right people, and build a community that's actually sustainable. And if you're scared that nobody will join if you charge, remember this. The people who are willing to pay are the people you actually want in your community anyways. They're the ones who are serious, the ones who are ready, the ones who will show up and do the work. Those are your people, and they're worth waiting for. The free crowd, they were never going to convert anyways. You're not losing anything by not catering to them. You're gaining focus, energy, and sustainability. And here's the beautiful thing: when you charge from the start, when you attract paying members who are committed and engaged, your community actually works. People get results, they refer their friends, your retention goes up, and you're building something that can actually last. That's what you want. Not a big free community full of lurkers, but a small paid community full of people who are actually there to transform. Now, if you want to see what a paid community actually looks like, come join us inside the Co-Creator Society. It's where founders and CEOs are building together and collaborating all the time. We've got live events, workshops, hot seats, and a fully branded app. Head to co-creatorsociety.com to join us. The link is in the show notes. And if you're building a community and you want help structuring it, pricing it, and positioning it so it actually attracts the right people, I work with founders on exactly that. You can find me at rachelbusinesscoach.com. Your community is valuable, friends. It's worth paying for. Don't give it away for free. And hope people will see the value later. Charge from the start, build something sustainable, and attract the people who are ready to do the work. All right, friends, that's it for today. Until next time. Bye, friends.